Hi guys, it's Kim. My 2 week wait is officially over. So let me tell you, it was torture. I freaked out the whole time, but this time I finally had more symptoms than I had last time, so I was happy about that. I had very mild cramping for like 4 days, just off and on, and then I had a little bit of heartburn, and I was thirsty. I didn't have the sore boobs, which kind of freaked me out. That was the only thing that freaked me out because everything else was going like textbook. So then on 7 days after my transfer, I noticed the implantation bleed early in the morning. And if I wasn't looking for it, I probably wouldn't have seen it. It was so light. So I saw it and I was just on cloud nine, and it made the rest of the 2 week wait just go by, nicely, because I finally had that implantation bleed that I never had before. So I was excited about that. And then, so 5 days after that, I had my beta, which was actually 2 days ago. And I did notice the day before my beta, I took a pregnancy test. It was the first response. And I looked at it, I did it like at 4 in the morning. And I was like looking at it with a flashlight. I was like holding it up, having a flashlight because it was dark outside. I didn't see anything. But then in the morning, when it got lighter out, I took it out of the trash and I like held it up and I was like, oh my God, something's there. So I was all excited, except then I was like, well, it could be an evap line, but I don't know. So then later in the day, I took another one and I saw a very faint line, and my husband, I ran into the other room. I'm like, oh my God, guess what? And I got him so excited, and he took one look at it and he's like, that's not a line. That's not a real line. And so he kind of got mad, which wasn't exactly the reaction I was hoping for, because I just wanted that moment of telling my husband that I'm pregnant. So it didn't really go as planned. So then the next day, I took another test in the morning, and I did the first response again, and it was a little bit darker. And then I did the digital, and it said not pregnant. The digital one I have is the one that says if you're 1 to 2 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks or 3 plus, and it said not pregnant. So, but I have heard that those are not as sensitive. So I wasn't freaking out too much because at least the other one was darker. So I was super excited, went in for my beta. We were waiting all day for the results, and then we were going to tell my parents that night the results. So, and like surprise them, because I didn't tell them that was the day of my beta. I kind of lied and told them it was the next day. So we were just like waiting. I couldn't wait to get my beta number. And the nurse called and says, well, we don't have great news. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So she's like, well, your beta number is 33 and we were hoping for 50. So she's like, we're going to be cautiously optimistic, but I don't want to get your hopes up too high. And so, of course, I'm freaking out, crying, really upset. But I'm like, no, there's like got to be a mistake, because I finally had implantation bleeding. I finally like saw a line. So she said, she goes, you're technically pregnant, but she said we need, of course, those numbers to rise significantly, and you're below what we really wanted to see. So, as everybody else has said, that you go back in 2 days later for the second beta. Well, not in my case. They don't now want to see me till Monday. So now, my first beta was Wednesday, and now I gotta wait till Monday to do my second beta. Which, I mean, come on, how stressful is that? So I'm kind of going crazy, but I'm like, okay, I'm buying more tests, seeing if the line gets darker. I'm doing a crap load of research. And I kind of was excited because, well, first of all, I'm temping. I'm doing my BBT temperature thingy. And my temps have been going up, and they're higher than they've ever been before. So I'm excited about that. And I know that sometimes the progesterone makes it go up. And I know I'm on a lot of progesterone. But I did the same thing my last cycle, and the temperatures started dropping and I wasn't pregnant. So this time they are going up, so I'm optimistic. And as I was doing a crap load of research, I realized that I am considered a late implanter because I didn't implant till 7 days past transfer, which is technically 10 DPO. And they say hold on, it says low battery. Anyway, so From everything I've researched, you implant between 7 and 10 DPOs. Well, I implanted 10 DPOs, so that's late. So I'm like, okay, so I'm just a late implanter. And so, anyways, so the next day after the phone call, I was like, you know what? I did research. I'm like, I'm just a late implanter. That could be a reason that my numbers are low. And so I did a digital that morning, and it said I'm 1 to 2 weeks pregnant. So I'm thinking that my numbers have to be doubling, because 2 days before the digital said 0 or said not pregnant, and now 2 days later the digital saying pregnant. And so I'm like, my numbers have to be going up. So, and then today, I don't know if you can see these. This was my 11 days past transfer. This is just like literally the dollar store cheapie. So I think if you can see a little line. So that was 11 days past transfer, and this is today, which is 14 days past transfer. And I totally see that it's darker. So I think my levels are going up. I'm being like totally optimistic. And then this was 11 days past transfer. This is another type of test. And this one you can barely see, if anything at all. But then this was the next day, 12 DPOs. So there is a line there, if you can see it. So I don't know. I don't know if they should be darker. I don't know what to think. I am, like I said, all the research I've done, I'm just very, very optimistic, because when I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? If they did another girl the same day as me, the same time as me, on the transfer day, she's gonna implant not exactly the same day as I implant, so her numbers might be 50, and because I was later, my numbers are gonna be lower. So it totally makes sense to me. I don't know why the nurse couldn't tell me that, if that's true, but I did email her yesterday, and I was like, I know I'm grasping at straws here, but can you please just shine a light on here, because her voice just sounded so negative when she called me the first day, and I think that they just don't want to get your hopes up. I don't know. So the tone in her voice made me not optimistic at all, but the more research I did, the more I'm like, wait a second, I think I just had a late implanter. So it's just more waiting, a story of our life, but this IVF, everything has gone so smoothly, and I had told my husband, and I say about this with everything in my life, and not to sound negative, but I always say there's going to be a speed bump, and things will work out. And so I'm hoping this was our speed bump, and I hope that everything works out, and that we just had a bad day. So, we'll see. Wish us luck, please, and please share if any of you have had similar experiences and hopefully had positive, good results and a baby. I really, really, really wanted twins, so I'm kind of thinking the twin thing isn't going to be happening since my numbers are so low, but I'm going to be definitely happy with one child at this point, with anything at this point. I just want to be pregnant, and I want to have a baby and all that good stuff. So anyways, please comment below. Please keep me in your prayers, and I hope to have good news to report to you next time on Monday. So hope you guys are all doing well, and lots of baby dust. Bye.